Safe here, safe here, safe here.
Safe here too.
Safe on me, safe on me.
Watch our drops, watch our drops. Get traps down here on stairs. Get traps on stairs.
Set up, top left, top left, top left.
Enemy.
Down, down, down.
Huge knocks.
Play the corner, play the corner, play the corner, play the corner. Climb. Dead. Last one. Where is he? Down low.
Let's go, boys.
Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go, baby! We would be the clutchest team in fucking Apex, baby.
We're going to Dubai, baby!
So if you don't already know, the eSports World Cup just had their North American qualifier, and 2 teams made it on to join the rest at the championship in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia this August. And it's one of the biggest Apex tournaments that the game has ever seen. And one of the teams that surprised everyone to go on and secure second place, securing their spot for the championship, is none other than Tripods, which formerly had Nick Mercs on the team, but now has Gent and Deeds keeping that roster and bringing on Onmuu as their IGL from former 100 Thieves. And this is a roster that people expected to do decent, but everyone, I think, was surprised to see just how well they performed at this tournament. And it leaves a lot of questions to how well they're going to do in regular Pro League, as well as in the championship in Riyadh. So I decided what better team to do a VOD review for than the Tripods themselves to see how they are doing, what they did right, and ultimately what they can improve on in this qualifier finals lobby. So for today, I'm going to be reviewing the set of 6 games, highlighting what they could do better, what they did great, and how I think they're going to perform overall going into the season. So with that, let's get into it. So I haven't really watched these guys too much. I've seen them obviously in Pro League, but mostly from other perspectives, from like Nicewig or from like the mainstream or something like that. They're landing Countdown, and this is somewhere Tripods has historically landed. No, because if I'm not mistaken, they contested E8 here, right? Was that them that contested E8? They get a knock. Who is this that they caught out? Is this Sky East, or is this Landslide? Yeah, it's got to be Landslide then. But Landslide should be gone already. Landslide had console, dude. There's no reason Landslide's still here. The thing about Landslide is, like, a lot of people don't, like, if you're not someone that's landing on Landslide to play Landslide, and you're just picking it because you have another POI, then you're going to struggle. But if you're a team that lands Landslide and you know Landslide well, you can actually do pretty well out of Landslide. It's the same reason, like, Legends does so well. I mean, not the only reason Legends does so well, but, like, it's actually a pretty solid zone POI just because of how central it is. Like, you know, it's so close to 0-0-0 that you get a lot of prio. But the problem is when you don't know Landslide well, what happens every single time, especially in Challenger Circuit, but in Pro League as well, it's going to happen the same way. And they're always going to look to get kills on Landslide. So that's why Gent and Deeds were playing so far forward. Because when you're Countdown team, for one, you have to worry about your back, right? So you have Trials is typically taking their time, but Lava Fisher could walk up. So you have to worry about them. So you have to go a little faster. It's not a bad zone POI, but specifically, Landslide has nothing. So like if you get good loot and you can look to get picks on Landslide team, they have to loot pretty sporadically. So like here, it looks like one of them tried to take advantage of this loot and got punished for it. I don't know what Landslide team would do that. I feel like if you're Landslide, you ignore this and you just loot here. You maybe have one person land on this side and loot through tunnel. And then if you get the vault, which they didn't, right? So they clearly didn't have vault key because Countdown team got it. But Landslide team, if you're caught too slow, if you don't rotate fast enough, Countdown is almost always going to kill you, and they almost always have better loot. So you cannot be here in Landslide too long. So if you're a Landslide team and you see this pool, you kind of have 2 options. If you have a survey beacon, you could rotate through Harvester and try to hit beacon here, because staging, especially if you see a geyser zone like this, you know staging's not going to really be rushing here. You could run into them at Harvester, but regardless, it looks like the Landslide team opted to go Monument. I think this is them there, probably. The only other team, it couldn't be Survey Epi because that's them here. It couldn't be Climate because that's them here. Not that Climate would ever go this way. Epicenter would never go this way, right? They have ring console as well. So they're all going this way. I mean, this is a weird spot for Epi because they can get into No Name for maybe not free, but like they could definitely claim a spot in No Name. So I don't know why they're not doing that. They don't have a survey beacon. Oh, they do. So I don't know. But anyway, Landslide team, it looks like they were able to get a pick on that. That's pretty awesome for Countdown. That's what you want. If you can get the picks off of Landslide team, get easy kills there, you definitely want to do that. The only worry is you have to do it quick because staging team can walk up too, so you don't want to get thirded. Anyway, it looks like from where they're at now, They just hit the survey beacon, right? So what they would probably do is, it depends on how they're trying to play right now. They're going to be forced to play edge, but their landslide team might have info right here. So they might be able to capitalize on the fact that no one's here, but I don't know if they know that no one's playing no name. Like if you're this team, everyone's banking on a geyser pool. It could pull no name. So you could have two options. You could play on the bank, right? So you could play on it pulling no name, in which case you could get a high prio, because if you're here, you come the other side, you hit an evac, you're in no name, right? The only two teams that are really risking beating you are these two teams. And I mean, Epicenter, it looks like they actually might be ballooning because of the way they're stacked on each other right now. So maybe Epicenter, but regardless, that's three teams, and there's, you know, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 playable spots in no name. So you could play there. The other option, and probably what I would opt for instead, I think, because I see how split these are, they're all running into, there's like 3 different teams kind of clustered here. Big Mod's not leaving. These teams can fight for this side. They could fight for this choke. If I'm them, I might try to see if I can't evac and get to here, because this is a really good spot, mainly for its flexibility. If the zone pulls to geyser, you have some options. It's not ideal, but you do have a Bangalore, so you can cover, you can smoke down, and you could take a space inside of geyser. Or if it pulls no name, you can slide down and take space in no name, or you can play from the top. Sometimes it actually pulls up here. So if I'm countdown, if I'm tripods, I'm either gonna go here, or I'm gonna hard commit and play the bet here that it's gonna pull no name. But I don't think it will pull no name. We'll see. This is really good. They got double gold helmet. This is really good for tripods. I haven't seen any of these games, so I know how some of the results are. Obviously, like I've looked at the scoreboard, but I haven't actually like watched any of the games. So it's possible it does counterpull, and maybe they get that advantage. Or if they play the height, I mean, it seems like they probably don't have an evac, or maybe they're just not playing center zone. To be fair, if you're trying, I mean, look at their kit right now. They could be in a really good position to win some fights if they want to play it that way.
You gotta watch Skyhook rap.
I don't know if I like this, because I mean, to me, like, sure, a lot of spaces were taken in geyser, but like they had the ability. It depends, right? If they didn't get an evac, then ignore everything. But like if they had an evac, they were kind of trolling a little bit by not going straight to zone. But I mean, this is a decent hold though, and I mean, he's 6'10" off of purple.
Maybe they're going for the balloon on the right side.
No, there's no shot you go for balloon. If that team went for balloon, they would be trolling so hard, because they already know this team's got a sentinel on their side, and if you're taking balloon with a sentinel looking at you, and you think you're not getting, like, one of you's not going down off that balloon, you're crazy. Now, if you go behind the rock, pop an evac, you could get away with that. Okay, so they're playing for ring 3. This isn't a bad call, because okay, so that's exactly why, right? So let me pause this real quick. They could have played this 2 different ways that I was saying earlier. So if they had chosen to instead play this choke, then it could have paid off, right? Absolutely could have, because then when they figure out, in 2.5 minutes, when all these teams that heavily banked on geyser figure out in 2.5 minutes that it pulls over here, all of them have to find their way in here. So, and I mean, if we went back and looked, there's like 8 teams playing out of geyser right now. So it's not going to go super well for those 8 teams. If tripods is here, which is the first place I suggested, they can hold them. The problem now is the team that's playing here has to rotate in, and this is a good place to, like, they could potentially hold them out, because you now kind of have to play gatekeeper. I mean, you could try to slide down, but like at this point you lost spots. They could have done what I said originally, which is just like bank on it pulling this way, but that's a little bit, that's pretty committal, right? So what they opted to do instead, they said, hey, we got really good loot. We got 2 gold helmets. We have a purple shield, and we have 2 blues that are like 600 damage, right? Which we have a sniper, so we can farm that. They said, you know what? Instead, let's opt to play for ring 3, which is what a lot of teams are doing these days, is playing for ring 3. It's something me and Jayhawk have talked about. So playing for ring 3, they decided to do that because they have the better armor. They can fight their way in. If they had taken the bet, obviously it would have worked out, but it's still a bet. And had it pulled the geyser, they would have been in a bad situation. So they're playing on the safety of pulling this side. So I like that. I like that call. I think that's going to be good for them.
Cool, no name. All right, you can get a really good spot here. I'll hit UAV. Don't grab that juice.
And the fact that they have an Evo cache another Evo cashier, and a survey beacon. They're all going to be on purple. Gent's going to be like halfway to red. This is a really good call from them. I can see why they had a juicer game here. And look at that. So now all these teams are blind still for another minute and a half, which means that they have time to walk in for free, get one of the best spots in the game, completely uncontested. That's amazing. This building's pretty nice with the caustic, because it is decently hard to like push on. Some of the other buildings in this are actually a little bit harder to fight, but the only way you push up that hill is if they're fighting. Because right now it is early enough you could potentially third, but I think this is probably better just to stay here and play where you're at.
Still has to move. I think it honestly may.
I think it does, but we have a good. I think we have a good spot. I think the rear can get fucking inted.
Is that not? Does
It's
this
better. It's better to ape. Well,
If we can hold that, there was no one up there.
It does, but there's.
You just like run up.
if you want to try, you can try.
I think we tried.
Okay, come on. We have to be careful of the cat team next to us.
They're gonna try to beat us over here. We can beat them. We can beat them.
Wait, are they shooting from there? No, they're on the pills.
shooting from the
I'm gonna hound over this.
Okay. They broke the balloon. On the pills to our
On the
right,
left
right here.
Can you smoke? Can you smoke for the cop?
Smoked him. Yes.
Gotta watch already.
Get 30.
I'm gonna
Scanning
bang up
gun,
them.
we're
I'm gonna
scanning
bang
red.
up them.
Okay. That was a gamble, but I mean, it paid off big for them. I like this spot a lot. One of the big things that is important about like your rotates and your end game positions is you can't get too comfortable in your positions in Pro League specifically, but like in comp and ranked, it all is kind of the same. If you just are like sitting in one building the entire game, unless you got god tier pokes and you can like crack anyone that ever looks at you and tries to push you, like if you have that, then sure, do whatever you want. But like, and you can sit in any place for the whole game, doesn't matter. But if you're not like on that level, and even in Pro League, like you really can't do it. You have to be like changing positions to take the better position always. You always need to be making the play for the better position. It's something that Zero understands really well, is like he's not comfortable with taking the like a good position. He's playing for the best position. And that's ultimately what Onmuu decided here was this is where we have to play. So I think that's a pretty big comp for there. I think this is going to turn out pretty well. Obviously it is going to turn out well for them, but
All right, and Alter could come queuing through this. You can queue. There's a queue spot that you can do like right here along this wall.
dude, imagine that. That's the thing with Alter, man. If you can understand the thing about Alter, that's a legend Tech can pull off, because Tech knows the game at that level. You need to, if you're going to play an Alter, you need to know the game at like some nebulous level. Like you need to know, like that's what he's saying, like, oh, you know, oh, he's going to go through this little like section that people might not know about. And if people don't know about certain exploits, then like you get walked up.
I got my sentinel back.
I like the swapping too. So he's swapping obviously just because of the bang smoke, so he can take advantage of the digi. That's a good call. That's a good call. I've said it before. I said it with my interview with Trev Stacks. The long range digi is very, very good. They just should be careful because they're not putting out a lot of damage for how much damage they're taking. So they really do need to be careful that they're not overusing their shields, right? Oh, this is amazing for them. This is so good for them.
None of my traps are broken back there, guys. So I mean, team walks through.
No, they're still fighting, guys. I hear fucking going crazy.
It's 10 seconds.
They're holding their.
Flat? Oh my god, beautiful.
Can you get theirs?
No. He called in.
Alright, I'm gonna go to him. I'm gonna watch your right. 1 second.
I mean, if they force
On the
it,
right,
they
on the right.
Teams are going to keep looking to pressure them on this right. Having a long range like something so oppressive like this, like a Kraber, is so good for them right now, because that's what they need. They need to avoid teams taking space too far on their right side, because that they get angled out pretty hard there. But they do have the best cover in the game. The other team is in way worse position than they are. But a team could, because they're in a worse position, send them. So they do have to worry about that. Not as much now, more so when this zone closes. Because once this zone closes, tripods, yeah. So let me pause this real quick. So before this happens, the only thing they have to be careful about is the team on the right that he's been trying to Kraber. They could benefit a lot by taking a fight on this team by thirding tripods while they're here. So as much as they do want to full commit to hold this team from tunnel from taking their space, they don't have to do a ton. The zone's going to do a lot of it for them. If they drop their caustic gas, if the zone is ring 4, they don't want to full commit. So I would be surprised if I don't see after he throws this arc star, maybe throws another grenade, maybe. But I wouldn't be surprised if after he does that, he turns around to get his Kraber focused on that team again. Because if he doesn't, they really run a risk of that team sending them. Now, they shouldn't lose a lot of health here, so it could be possible that they still could win that fight, but it's going to be at a bigger disadvantage because Caustic's burnt ult, Caustic gas traps have been going off. You know, there's a lot. They've used nades, so they're going to be a lot more expended. So we'll see.
Nading.
Come back now. They're gonna die.
Yeah, go back.
Because they have to worry about this team. Yeah, see?
Watch the front, watch the front.
Yeah, push up.
Yep, so there we go. That team is looking to push up.
No.
They backed up. They thought we were hard committed.
I have to kill the rat.
There you go. So that was huge that they backed up. They easily, so they could have lost this game right there if they had too hard committed to that team.
They're running the other way. Blue on one. Dead.
Huge comms. Because now they have to clear their back, so this is huge.
Getting.
Right where you knocked him.
You doing it. 8 on the res.
Stop the res. Watch the guy.
We got one on the right. It's a fuse.
I'm bang ulting him.
It's a good bang ult in either res.
Crack them. At the bat. Yeah, well. Getting 5.
Nice.
This is good.
Getting left.
I'm batting. We ult themselves if you got him. Yes.
Yeah, I think fighting their right, because right now no one on the left has height. A team could walk out, and they do have to watch that, but...
What side of the hill? We went this side?
They just have to make sure a team doesn't walk up on the right, but a team really can't walk up on the right. A team can't really walk up on the right, or the left, sorry. So the right is definitely where you want to focus.
We need to get control of our left. We need to get control of our left.
We have way more space on the left.
Can we watch right thing?
Yeah, we have to watch that right too. Yes.
Because left can walk up, but the problem is there's teams can be looking at them.
We have to force the team right, dudes. We have to force the team right.
Yeah, you don't want them to come around this rock. You want them to go left around that rock.
Force the team right to go left.
Yeah.
I'm throwing a bird over there.
Far right.
You come scan.
No, I can't.
Got 2 birds.
This is good nades.
No tags with those. I didn't hit anyone with those. They walled here.
Yeah, my wall. I think
Wait for the bang up.
They just have to really watch their left. I assume someone is watching left. I can't see. Yeah. It looks like Gent, which is good having the Bloodhound watching the left. Because a team could walk all the way around left and wrap if they're not careful. Their spot they're in is amazing. The only problem is they have to really be careful that they don't concede space to another team. Amazing. Oh, this might just be free. Oh, this is just free. Okay. If they had played for the low ground there and secured that building, which it was a good spot, they probably would have been like the 2nd or 3rd place team there. Overall, really solid game. I mean, they were playing really well. They played for Ring 3, which paid off big time because they could have just doubled down, played for the bottom there. But when they saw Ring 3, they knew it was pulling a little bit higher than just no name. So had they committed with Ring 2 info, played no name, or even played that choke, they could have had decent placements. Playing out of no name in that building, they could have done that without Ring 3 info. They could have done it, taken the gamble, and probably could have gotten like 3rd, 4th, 5th, somewhere in that area. Probably pick up a decent amount of KP, maybe like 3 to 5 KP, depending on how well they play out of the position, how much they're picking up on the zone close. It's doable, but they decided, let's play for height, let's play for God spot, which they saw that as God spot because 1, they're a caustic, so it's very easy to hold the tunnel. So they don't have to worry about dealing with all these tunnel teams because they have to take the zip up into caustic gas, go up the stairs into caustic gas. There's not a lot of ways for the teams to outplay the caustic. The only team that could was the altar, and they were planning around that. So they were prepared for the altar. They had caustic so they can heavily hold that tunnel very easily. The zone pulled really nicely just to the door, which meant that the team pushing when they finally did push up would be given no time to reset. If the team pushed earlier, in my opinion, they would have done a lot better. Like that team that was on low ground should have pushed way earlier because it gives them the time to take the fight. And it also increases the pressure on Tripod's back because a team coming from low ground should know that there's a team not only playing in the tunnel, but there's definitely going to be a team playing out there looking to take their spot. So if they had played a little bit slow or like played earlier and played slower, they would have forced Tripod's hand to have to either concede to fight them, which means that it give them the advantage because they'd have to push into their caustic gases, or it concedes space to the other team to push them, and they have to push out of the tunnel, giving the space to them. So the team on low ground kind of threw by not pushing like 30, 45 seconds earlier, but I don't know the situation in the tunnel. If I were guessing, the reason they didn't do that is because there was another team. They were playing under, and there's another team that was probably playing in the tunnel that could either mirror them or go out into no name. And I'm guessing that they spent the entirety of that time holding that angle so the team would have to push into no name instead. So if I were guessing, that's the reason they didn't push earlier. But if I was that team, I think that I would still push earlier and give myself that more time, so I wasn't getting forced out by the zone. So anyway, they played it really well. Ultimately, they decided to take the fight for the right when they got the opportunity, which was that Kraber shot. Huge play. They needed to look for that because they need to force that team off their back so they could hold the whole hill. Really good. Ultimately, the third team that was going to try to take that space for them, they forced them around that rock, so they had to play for the low ground, which forced them into fight with the other two teams that were alive, which means that it was very easy pickups for the tripods to take that win. Huge play. I think they did a really good job. Playing for Ring 3 is definitely the move right now. I think a lot of teams are opting to do that if you don't have immediate prio. And honestly, a lot of teams just got scuffed because it did look like the mass was pulling Geyser, but you can't rule out a counter pull. And that's why you're better off playing a flexible position. The problem is an early rotating team can't take, if I had a map, I'd show you, but like the hill that goes over from Geyser into no name, team can't really play that early. Too many teams have to walk through there. It just becomes very cluttered. You get thirded, you get fourth from the teams trying to get there early. So it's just not really a good spot to play early game anyway. You have to play once people are in the POI, so they don't have any reason to push out. But so the teams kind of had to play into Geyser or into no name. Looks like everyone just took the wrong bet. So yeah, unlucky. But I mean, really lucky for tripods. I mean, but they also just played really well. And that's why playing for Ring 3 is pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and jump to game 2. So they have prio here. So here's the thing. Skyhook's going to have the info. Skyhook's not going to play off this info, I don't think. They could. But if they do play off of it, they're going to probably play like... They can't run through Sky East. Sky East has no clue what's going on, right? So Sky East has no clue what's going on. So Sky East, they're either going to play out, which I don't think I would do, or they're going to play late for this survey beacon. That's what I would do. If I was Sky East, I'm taking my time. I'm looting here, and I'm going to survey beacon here to see where the zone pulls. That's what I would be doing, seeing where people are playing. Unless they're feeling themselves, like if they're like, you know, some really good fighting team. I don't know who's landing here. Maybe they are like, you know what, we just fight trials for what, you know, get the kills and then also get the beacon. Definitely could do that. Either way, you're delaying your time to get there, so it doesn't really matter. This team is probably going to be here. So what they should do is this team is going to take their time. This team is just Sky West. They're going to take their time. They're doing trials. They're going to be late. Landside doesn't have info, so they could play for Countdown or they could play for Monument. If I'm them, I know it's not pulling Countdown, and I know it's not pulling Skyhook, and it could pull Landside, in which case I concede like the space, right? Because I could play it, but if people aren't already showing up, like if I don't see Countdown immediately running to Landside, then I'm not banking on it pulling there anyway. Plus I can hit the survey beacon and figure out where like teams are already starting to rotate. So if I'm Landside, I'm just waiting maybe a little bit longer, hitting this beacon, and then planning to play for third beacon at a Monument, probably, or you could play for second survey beacon here, in which case the risk there is you're going to run into teams, and you're Landslide, so you're not as kitted. So I'm probably running into Monument. It's probably pulling like in this section here. In this little like section, I don't see, for the way it pulls here, I don't see a lot of zones end here. I mean, I've seen zones end like right here, so maybe there. There's a lot of options. What I would probably do, I wouldn't play for Monument third beacon. I'd probably fight for this. I'd probably fight for this building. I would just hold it and then hit the survey beacon, and then you have options. Probably what I would do.
I'm just gonna be running there on whites is the only thing.
So that's a really good comm there. Is they have, like I said, they're going to have to hold and fight for Sky East taking it, or potentially even Landside, which now it looks like it is going to be Landside, right? And Landside's on blue. So Onmuu is on blue if you hit that assault bin, but you have to get to that assault bin before you fight. Do you really do that?
Careful with Sky East, too.
Yeah.
They're just going to go to Monument and play.
It's a really good comm to watch for Sky East. Like, play here, and then you probably play opposite side. Yeah, there's Sky East. Now the difference between them and Tripods is right now is Sky East was playing it for Zone 2 info. Sky East is playing this for Ring 2 info. Tripods already has Ring 2 info. They're playing it to see for open spots and what teams are guessing. Totally different reasonings for using this. They're also using it for a little bit for Evos. I mean, both of them are. But, I mean, overall, Tripods has way more info than the Sky East team. So the Sky East team is a little bit more desperate. That being said, it's not worth fighting. Like, they're at such a significant disadvantage pushing Grandma House, so.
Honestly, yeah, I kind of want to.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm thinking they might just fight.
No one really.
Well, that's
That's
a
a
knock.
knock.
That's
That's
a
a
knock.
knock.
That's a knock.
Let me see if I can snipe the map here.
That's a knock. That's a knock.
Okay. So they see a knock in Monument. It could give you enough to push off of, definitely, but they're far. They're so far away that the time they get there, the team could have killed them and been full reset. So I don't know. The other issue here is that you have the Epicenter team that's going to be looking down on it. You can see them right now on the map right here. So this team is going to be looking down at this. The thing is here, they're in a pretty good spot to just hold up here. I get they want to play for the beacon, and playing for third beacon, like we've said, can pay off big time. But right now, they just held off one of the only two teams that are going to rotate this way. They have triple blue. This team is probably not triple purple. They might be close, but they're not probably going to be triple purple, I wouldn't say. I mean, they get, like, let's see. You could just count it out, right? 350. You got the damage to the dogs, which we'll talk about in a second. So 350. Is this another 300? Like 600, I think. So should be, I mean, it's more than blue, right? But I forget exactly how much more. And then if they get this, right? And the assault bin, it's another like 650, 1,000, 1150, and then maybe with his trials things. So maybe one of them could potentially be on purple. That's possible. But likely they're all gonna be like triple blue with like maybe 200, 300, 400 left on their evos. Either way, they're not going to be like so significantly out looting them that they can't afford to like hold here. Not to mention the fact that they got the care package here. I just think this is a way better spot to hold. It gives you a lot more flexibility when you go down this hill and you commit to this monument. There's a thing called continuity, right? The space you concede will be occupied by another team. So if you leave here and you go down here, another team can take this. For one, Sky East could just come back and do it, right? They'll see you left. For two, Sky West, which is just a more kitted team, can come and take it, or they can even fight them and kill them and take it. Either way, when this team is down here, they're going to be held out by this team. They're going to be held out by this team, and they're forced playing down into Monument City. And sure, it could absolutely pull there. But you know what the thing about Monument is? You can't hold as much space down here. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could probably count like 9 different spots in Monument that teams could be playing, right? Now, granted, all these teams don't always concede that much space and will try to fight teams that are taking space next to them, but that's not going to happen for every team. Landslide team, they're going to go into Monument. Staging team, they're going to go into Monument if they don't fight and die, right? Obviously, that's, Thermal, maybe they will wrap and play up here. Who knows? All these teams are going to play into Fragment and Monument. All these teams. Maybe one team goes here, but Climate probably just goes here. So you're going to be fighting the hardest part of the lobby. The hardest half of the lobby is over here. The easy half of the lobby is up here, and you scanned and you know that. So, like, everywhere, these teams, they can either play Fragment or if they're trying to play for the win, right? And they are making the prediction that it's pulling up here. Then they're going to wrap this way, play over here, which means that over here is going to be congested. Down here is going to be congested, and look where's not. Right where you're at right now. So I think you're just way better off sitting on top of Grandma's house maybe, or sitting, playing over here and just holding the north here. Playing for the spot. Because when the zone ends, if it pulls down here and you're right, which he was betting on it pulling down here, well then guess what? You can play down. Or you can play across to the height and fight Epicenter team top. You have secure the height up here. If it pulls over here, you can play down in the survey. You have so many options from right here. It just feels like a throw not to play that position, but whatever.
You got that?
There's that altar. That's tech in the boys.
Can you help?
I'm going height. I'm going height. Hang on. I'm coming to you.
Get the bank splash, bank splash.
Him taking height was a little bit. I get why he did it, but I mean, if your team is pushing, I think you have to push with them.
And I can't see him.
Ooh, clutch up.
You got that.
I choked this.
Bro.
Man, I was just so far behind.
Yeah, I think he just has to push with them. That's all there is there. That definitely could have been. That easily could have been a winnable fight. I mean, that was a very easily winnable fight, and it could have made the decision they made really good. They get 3 KP. They can stay in a decent, like, find their pick of the litter in Monument. They might even be able to look to push back up. I doubt it, but maybe. Unfortunate. I mean, yeah, obviously it seems like the only mistake there was they're pushing this team. You know it's a 3v2. I don't know the reason why you would stay back and not just push straight with your team. Maybe because he had the Nemesis, he figured he'd be able to give support from height, but just knowing the way that this part of the map works, right? There's just so many different, like, floors and line of sight breaking things that it's just like you can just be avoided. I'm not gonna watch the full games once they die, just because I'm gonna be watching Nocturnal's VOD, and then I'll probably watch different. I'll be able to watch different lengths of each game, so we'll see. If it's like close to the end, I'll watch it through, but since this is like the beginning, I'm not even gonna watch it. I will jump to the end just to see where this zone pulls. So look where they're playing, right? They're playing up top here, which is where I said they would have been, right? They would have been right here. They would have been able to walk right in to play this top, like, play this wall here. They could play up, like, just such a better spot. Such a better spot. Now, down Monument's still in, so they could have played that too, but Sky West could have easily, like, scuffed them. Anyway, another team landing Zeus. I just got to think for Zeus teams, I guess. Okay. So is it going 2-2? Wait, so why is it now? Did I skip a game?
Okay, no, it is 2-2-1-1.
2-2-1-1. Okay, there we go. It's game 3. It's kind of weird that they're doing 2-2-1-1. I've never seen that, so that'll be interesting. I don't know why they did it that way. Weird coincidence though that I'm watching 2 Zeus games back to back. TSM was landing Zeus when I was VOD reviewing them too. Zeus buff? Question mark? Yeah, so the thing about this you have to worry about is because it's not like set drop spots or anything like that. Like, you could have someone loot those the balls down there, get some extra loot or whatever. I don't know if they have ring console. Really depends where if they have ring console or not. I was gonna say if they have ring console, then you don't want someone looting down there because it just delays your rotate too much. But someone can loot those balls down there, and they can have pretty decent loot. No console. So for no console, someone should have landed down on the balls down there and looted that. I get why they didn't, because they were worried about Lightning Rod team, which is Meat Lovers. Worrying about them walking up on them. That makes sense. I still think that as long as they loot smart, they should be fine and not have to worry about that. I mean, you can look out for it. I think they probably loot Lightning Rod and take their time too. The zone wasn't favorable. The pool wasn't favorable for them either. I don't know. It seems a little bit like they could have gotten a lot of extra loot there and been way more kitted. Especially since they have to play edge the way that they're playing right now. The zone just, like, that's the downside of Zeus as it currently is. One of the really bad detractors of when you would get a bad drop ship. That was a big detractor, is like it basically slowed your rotate like really, really bad, because you have to land down on a gravity cannon. You all get sent up. Like, that's an extra like 20-30 seconds that your loot is delayed, because you have to loot the entire POI totally different. So that's going to be really good for the draft, is going to get rid of that. They could have probably fixed that in other ways, but it is what it is. Either way, I just think they could have gotten the party balls. I guess they probably didn't, because they figure we'll come back down here and loot it, but a little bit troll. One of them lands down there. I think what you do is the two of you beeline to the backside. One of you land on the balls, take the grav cannon up, hit the rest. You don't want to hit the survey beacon right away, because the way this is pulling, they're going to want to go wall anyway. Unless, in my opinion, you want to go Lightning Rod, because Lightning Rod has a ring console. They have a trident. I think that you could also make a play for Lightning Rod. You get the ring console and you get a third survey beacon or second survey beacon. So in terms of Evo farming, you could get a lot. I don't know if they're planning on radding the survey beacon. I don't think the wall team gets it. Why would the wall team go for this survey beacon? Why would wall team go for this survey beacon? I don't know in what world the wall goes for this beacon. Like, why would they play that beacon when the beacon by command is like pretty much theirs? They could play for that one way better than they could play this one. This is good comms though. They hit this beacon, they play back.
We're gonna be on third scan here.
I think they also get the caustic over there and hit that as well. Unless they're planning on hit like command center console, but like they should be able to hit the ring console in lightning rod and the command center console. It's an extra 150 evo for them. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. So they should be sending caustic and bloodhound over to lightning rod. They haven't hit console yet. It gives them info, a little bit more info than they have. And they also get an extra 150 evo. I'm not talking about for round 2 close or round 1 close. Like, you can see where rank 2 is, but also get the evo, and then you go to Stormcatcher or command, and you get the ring 3 one. So like you get an extra 150 evo. I don't know. And then it also tells you which side is worth fighting for. Do you go command side or do you go Stormcatcher? Because now you know where the ring is pulling. I mean, it's probably pulling north if I were a betting man, based on that survey beacon. So I've talked about this a lot, but I'm just going to be clear here. It will never pull check. It's not pulling checkpoint. I will sell my firstborn if it pulls checkpoint. Not pulling checkpoint. We know we can pretty much rule out like all of this here. It does look like it's pulling down north pad, but I don't necessarily know that I would rule out up here. I think command center is going to give them a lot of info here, but I think ultimately the best spot in the game to be right now is on this survey beacon without having used it, because you could be absolutely right and it pulls here, and a lot of times it will pull here. I'd say 9 times out of 10 it pulls here, but there's a good chance. There's some solid end zones here. I've seen some good end zones that end on this building. I would not rule out this side of the map at all. And I think if the problem is if you hard commit to this, you're going to get a lot of points if you're right, but if you are wrong, you're going to suffer. And so I would probably, if I was on this side of the PO of the map anyway, I'd take it, because it's like, why wouldn't I take prio like this? Why would I like go out of my way to fight my way out to take the benefit out here? So the teams that got prio here, great. But if you're already this late, yeah, you're not taking this space. You're not betting on this. You're going to play for third beacon. Even if you see that, you're going to play for this survey beacon. You're going to see what's available. If you have an opportunity to evac in and take an available spot, you can from here. But more than likely, you're going to probably, from tripods, I'm probably taking this, getting this assault bin, getting the survey beacon, trying to get to purple, if I'm not already on purple by then. And then I am going to fight from here down. If it does pull this way, I'm going to fight for this choke, and then play behind these rocks if I can't evac in. If I can evac in, then obviously it's a whole different story. If it pulls up here, then it's great. I'm up here. I'm going to play into this hill, and then I can take this, like, deny space from the right, push people off, keep dominating this hill, and work my way down, probably like this way, depending on where the zone pulls.
Wall side. Oh, you want to go for that beacon?
Yeah, wall side. Or we can go checkpoint. I don't think anyone was in here.
Wait, car.
Gross. Checkpoint's gross.
What if we fly way over here? There was like no one down here. I think we go checkpoint side.
I think the wall's not bad. You could drop down, play the wall, but if you don't have a catalyst, it's kind of ass.
Speaking of Tito. Bro, can y'all hit UAV and just leave? You did.
Yeah, so that's really good from that team. So whatever team just did that, I think that's Stormcatcher, and that's so smart of them, because they had a survey beacon in Thunderwatch. They know that the God spot is there, and that's probably Tech's team. If I'm a betting man, that's Tech's team. They landed Lightning Rod. They drop down, they take Stormcatcher, they secure that, they wait for the survey beacon. They hit the survey beacon, they see the team command center, right? They see tripods, and they say, the only place that tripods is going to play for is that survey beacon. And because of how flexible that beacon is, we need to save it, and we need to play out of there as late as possible. So they take the Trident, they, GTA 5 their way over, and they take that spot, and then they secure that tripods has to go literally anywhere else, unless they fight them, in which case, great, they have every advantage. Tripods, or Meat Lover says every advantage there. So huge play, really, really smart play. I'm not positive it's Meat Lovers, but if I were betting, it probably is Meat Lovers, and that's why they have the Trident, and they just went over there. Unless what I just heard is miscorrect, and maybe the Trident went to wall, in which case not a bad play by Meat either, a little bit weird, but doable. So where are they evacing for? They're evacing to go checkpoint. Yeah, as far as options go, checkpoint's not bad for what they have currently. They hit that Evo cache, and they should be on purple. It's a little bit risky, because we know this team's in the tunnel, so this could end up being their game. I wouldn't have scanned straight, I would have scanned left in the tunnel, but yeah, I mean, Oh, that's right. He hit Raven. Okay, fair enough. They don't have a lot of options. I think that Tech scuffed them. If that is Tech, I think it was.
We're gonna evac
We had to.
over to here.
I got scan.
Scan. In front,
Right.
over here.
Stand two. There shouldn't be a zone, I think. Fuck.
What?
I think you just hit an evac, right? I think you just hit an evac and dip. You got no time to make this decision. Yeah, I think they're getting too preoccupied with this right now. Hitting the ring console's fine. I don't know if you need to, but I think they wasted too much time. I think they might end up being scuffed. Yeah, that's the thing is, had they evac'd, they could have, like, immediately, they could be in checkpoint. For one, they don't lose somebody here. And also, they are probably beating that team that's fighting in tunnel to at least the left side of checkpoint. They get the height, and then they can fight over. But right now, they have no hand to play. They're literally running up with no options. They have to force themselves. And it's basically a very similar situation to the situation they had with that team they were fighting in tunnel, game 1. That team has no option. The zone's to their back. They just have to run straight at you, and you have every card that you can. Like, it's, yeah. I mean, it's a real bad situation for them. Definitely healing is, you can't heal. You just got to run. I mean, zone's like, your best bet is probably playing under and then trying to zip up once you've been able to reset. Probably. You could play for this building. It looks like it's free. There's teams fighting on height, though. I feel like, no, they're playing on low.
Under. Angle's here.
Yeah, we gotta be careful though.
Crack that cat.
Yeah, make sure you watch your LOS. You just get ahead.
Yeah, we have to.
Scan up.
10 seconds. I might zip up.
I mean, it's not good because checkpoint's ass. This is going to be a really bad spot for them to be in because they can't evac. Yes, your evac could make it over in some spots, not all spots. There's nothing to evac to. There's nowhere to evac. And that's assuming that the teams that are in checkpoint with you let you evac. Like, you're just dead here. That's one of the reasons I don't like checkpoint at all. Like, it was the option that they had. They didn't have a lot of options, but they could have had a way better spot in checkpoint if they played it correctly. Oh, they don't even have an evac. Yeah, then they definitely don't need to be here. So the thing is, they don't have anywhere to evac to. And at this point, they're better off playing for kills because they're not going to get probably top 10 if they evac, in my opinion. I don't think they even get top 10 if they evac. We'll see. They could get absolutely lucky. They could slam a really good spot. It's not impossible. But you're just gambling at this point, which is totally fine. I mean, if that's the way you want to play, right, then go for it. Personally, I think that you should probably a little bit earlier than this. You need to fight the team that's down here. At least, like, so this is what, hear me out here. So if you smoke here, right? If you smoke the zip, the bottom door, and you smoke the roof of it, they can't really take good angles on you. I think like maybe 20, 30 seconds ago, they should have, when they saw the team down here, they should just smoke them, try to play on top of them, and then look for and like hold them out. So like get up to here so that you're holding this team out, play into the trench, and then you can play, you don't have a cat wall, so you probably have to actually play right. But then like play for over here to get to the back of this building when it closes, like kind of walk up this way. That's what I probably would have done, because once you're in checkpoint, especially seeing how many other teams are in checkpoint, you know they're all going to be evacing. You're going to all be going for the same spots because you're all going to only see a few spots available in end zone. There's 13 squads up and everyone's in there. So I think that the best play is to walk it in or fight it in than to do this, because at least you can pick up KP. But here you're just going to land and get nothing. We'll see. I could be totally wrong.
Oh, go left over here. I'm going to die, I think. I'm flying.
Going out.
You call, Gent. You call. Where are you going?
I'm looking around.
Can we land at the rocks, maybe? Like these?
Can we reset here? Reset here?
Yeah, reset there? Okay.
Yeah, rocks.
Oh, I'm probably dead here. 1 HP. I'm dead in the back.
Scan the building, dude.
You're gonna have a team back here.
So where they're at now is where I wanted them to walk in. And I wanted them to walk in taking this fight. They would have fought that team, and then they'd walk in.
Wall behind you, wall behind you. You're getting bang ult from your left. I'm trying to bring you a knock. They're fighting. You guys gotta get in there.
No, hold it. Don't move, dudes.
3 to left.
Super far left, dude. Play on me.
Nah, he's right. Onmuu is right there. You definitely have to fight for that. You're not living, is the thing. Like, they're playing for their life, and the reality is you just can't live it. So like I said, you know, they got 10th. So one placement higher than I thought they were going to get there. But yeah, it's just when you evac in that, there's always people that get forced to evac in that end game, and it never works. It never works. This team probably did the exact same thing. getting forced into it. Just way better off just walking down and playing it in. I don't know. I think it probably have played where he landed, but that's the problem with these evac plays. I've said this so many times. I'm just going to continue to reiterate this. Checkpoint is so bad. Checkpoint is so bad. If a zone has checkpoint in it, do not play into checkpoint. The only time you play into checkpoint is when the entirety of checkpoint's in and literally nothing else is in it. Then you can play into checkpoint and then like find a good spot, whatever. Play bottom checkpoint because top checkpoint is never where it ends. But if anything else is in, don't play checkpoint. Never go. If you can avoid checkpoint, always avoid it because this is what happens every time. The teams in checkpoint never win a game, and they rarely pick up kills because they always think evacing is the play because it's like the only option that they see that they have, and then you could get like the most lucky of lucky that you get, and then maybe it works out. But yeah, I mean, typically it's not. So, all right, going to game 4. See that? And this is the thing with Zeus. You just get bad pools, but never again, right? Never again. Not in Pro League, in ranked, but you know, whatever. In scrims, in Challenger circuit, you get scuffed on Zeus. But the benefit is you don't have to worry about surprise contests because who else wants to do this walk up the hill to get to Zeus Station with you? I think they make it though. They should be able to make it. It should be fun. And they're not going to be like super flexible when they land, but they'll at least land within the POI, or they should. Getting ring console, that's big. So one of the big things I've said about Zeus Station that's so good, they actually can get into this end zone. So let's take kind of a quick tally here and look at these POIs. So the way you decide if you have prio is your proximity to the zone and how many teams between you and the end zone can beat you there, right? Just that's the really like basics of it. The wall team, they have ring console, right? That would be within their prio, but it takes a good amount of time. Zeus Station, I don't think they will do it, and it's because it's on the edge of that. And for their comp, they're better off just playing edge at this point. But if they wanted to, right, they can hit this balloon in the center once they're done looting, which they don't have to loot terribly long. If they have an evac, they can hit this and they can land all the way here if they wanted. They can land on this survey beacon from that balloon. They have to watch out for command, but command should be gone. Like command center team, this team should be in end zone. This team should absolutely be in the end zone. Stormcatcher could be here, so you have to worry about Stormcatcher. Lightning Rod could be here. Lightning Rod probably is playing for command center zone, or they might mirror Zeus Station to hit their zone, because there's a lot of Evo you can farm this way. Regardless, it just depends on how they want to play. If Zeus wants to play for the caches, they have a lot of opportunity to do so, but they have to worry about Lightning Rod because Lightning Rod has got nothing to do right now. And for them, for Lightning Rod, it's way better to go this way right now from what I'm looking at on the map than to go this way, because a lot of people on this side of the map don't know where zone is either. So it's a risky play. For Zeus Station, though, they can beat most of these teams to the zone. They just have to worry about Cascade because Cascade has nothing to do. They don't know where zone is. So Cascade is going to probably could play for this late beacon too. Stormcatcher probably plays for like this beacon. Lightning Rod might play for this beacon or this beacon. They might also play for Command Center Zone. Command Center's gone. Don't have to worry about them. Wall's gone. Don't have to worry about them. So Zeus, if I'm them, even though you could probably force your way into the zone, I'm probably playing the long game. I'm gonna wait here. I'm gonna go up, probably take this survey beacon, then drop down, probably fight spiders. Then go back here, probably fight prowlers, hit the survey beacon, walk in, and then hit for ring 3 here. Figure out exactly where it's ending. Walk in here, take the like I'm gonna take my time. Is the gist of it. I'm gonna take my time here because even though like you could probably force a prio here, you probably don't want to force a prio here. It's gonna be risky, right? Because the real big risk is not when you get to zone. It's your first balloon. Am I gonna run into Cascade? Am I gonna run a Stormcatcher? Am I gonna run a Lightning Rod? Probably not Lightning Rod, you'll beat them there, but like these two teams, right? Will I run into one of these two that are playing off of this beacon? You have the option. You could play down to here. You could land here. You could land short. You could land deep. You could land on Cascade itself. You can make it to I think the roof of one of these buildings here. So you could just like send it onto the roof, see if anyone's playing it, go play up for it, hit beacon. But then at that time, you're kind of you had to run back up, and you probably waste a lot of your time getting prio. But hitting that, you might be able to evac from here and then go in. So it's definitely possible. We'll have to see. If I'm them, though, I'm probably playing edge. So they could also balloon from top command. That's also a play they can make. And if they balloon from top command, they have a lot more options. Because this evac should give them where's free. They're probably gonna have to play the Jurassic side, and then see if they can work in a barometer. But so evac will get them into Jurassic. The problem is here, they have this team to worry about. If they play here, I'm done, dude. I hate this spot right here. Teams always like to play for here. I think it's awful. Since they're evacing anyway, I think that based on what I'm seeing here, we got Cascade Falls here. This team is playing on this side. They clearly look like they're betting on it pulling truck. Jurassic's good because you can play up top of the hill. But if you look here, you got Echo, you got Devastated, you got Launchpad, you got Stormcatcher, and you have Lightning Rod. All these teams have to come in this side, and these two teams will probably make it into Barrow this way, right? But this team might also go into Barrow. It looks like they're playing Nut. It looks like, I can't tell if they're fighting. No, it looks like they're just playing Nut, which is fine. If they stick Nut, that's fine. It's a bad, I don't like that spot, but they could play it. These teams are going to take Barrow, though. This team's going to take Barrow. So Launchpad is probably going to push here. This team's probably going to push here. This team is going to push either here or through. They might be able to play for there. But, like, personally, I feel like it's a lot safer inside of Cedo. The only problem is getting out of Cedo is hard. So, playing here definitely has more flexibility. You just have to do a really good job of holding your back. If I'm them, I might opt to play the actual tunnel just because I can if I can beat these teams, which I probably will. I can gatekeep this way. And then I can keep my options open to play out this way. And, you know, you just posture out. You keep teams off here if you can. But I don't know. That's probably what I would do. You could play for, like, this building and bet on a Jurassic pool. You could play into here. But I don't know. Probably somewhere in here is what I'd play. I don't think Jurassic is bad. If I were to play over here, I'd need another evac. And they don't have another evac, so that's going to be an issue. If I'm, like, absolutely betting, I think it is pulling barometer. But I like their play. I think getting into zone is a priority here. Because you're going to have to... There's the way that the zone is pulling is going to cause a lot of early game fights. Or mid-game fights, I should say.
Landing on the pack.
Moving.
I don't like this spot for them, but getting the care package is going to be really good for them. So that's definitely not a loss.
Might go for their evac over here.
It was a team at that.
It's still
We
there.
might get stuck here if we just chill here.
Yeah, he's right. If they stay here, they're going to get stuck here. 100%.
Yeah. Wait, on my left.
Yeah,
We can peek him.
Are they sending this fight? He hasn't said anything about that.
Alright, I'm backing up then.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, Onmuu pushed up and then didn't really say anything about it. I could have easily got him killed there. So that's the issue here. Is this is a big crunch point.
I should go for the juice.
Trying to get that juice on the left
yeah.
end.
Yeah, good comms to note that they've changed play styles now. So before they were trying to get into an end zone position, and he just noted right now. He said we're now playing edge play, which is like they have a different mindset now. So they're gonna be looking for fights. Their comms are very interesting because they're not really like saying a lot of like what they're doing specifically. They just kind of run in different directions, and it doesn't seem like they're like communicating those things as well.
Just knocked one. They knocked one. That's tech knocking him too. Get up here. He's gonna int him.
If he's on height, he's gonna be alone on height. The other two are gonna drop. The fucking EMP from height. They got their thirst, by the way.
Wanna just zip up?
One's on the triangle. You guys zip up. I'm gonna wait to shoot. They're moving up. Cat died. One's on the far right.
That trades.
Crack bang.
Nice.
There's a bunch of knocks.
I got one.
Nice.
Let's
We're
go
turn
here.
around. I'm running him down.
He's hit 130.
It's good for him to stay up here because he can actually capitalize on the kill. It's just. But Deeds now is playing separate. Is actually a throw. Deeds is a throw. Yeah, I'm not sure what Deeds is doing right now. Especially with a minute left. Like, that could have been so troll. Like, had no one told Gent that Deeds was still looting, Gent could have accidentally gotten, like, one clipped. Next thing you know, Gent's down, and Deeds has to 1v1 this guy, right? And maybe Gent gets thirsted, right? And they have to res, which buys them, like, more time in zone, right? Like, it could have been a throw to their whole game, had like, just in that little play. Like, it sounds like nothing, but, like, it just takes one little mistake like that to throw your game. And so that was a little bit like, I don't know why Deeds went to loot there. Like, I get looting, but like, get your kill first. Either way, they can play to their side of the fence. They're chilling. I mean, they're good right now, and then they can kind of evac in, I think, might be the play if they can't walk out.
I mean,
It is free, but
The jungle is free. Jungle's completely free.
We should do it from here, I think.
From here?
How many
Yeah, the
balloons
corner?
do we have? We
Yeah,
have
the
2.
corner.
If it doesn't
We have
work,
2.
if we get fried, we can jump off.
We should pop 2 of them, yeah.
No, put the
Or you
pop
wanna
one, pop one,
them,
pop
or-
one here, pop one.
Okay.
Ready? What we're gonna do is slam them if they don't.
Immediately when we land.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're playing for jungle, that's huge. It's a good play.
So I'm going island.
Yep.
They call it island.
Push 2.
Just gotta watch LOS here. Gotta get smokes out.
I think it's right here in this corner.
It's harder to play without like a cat or a Watson, but it's still definitely playable. They got the bang, so that as long as he has good cooldown, I don't know if they have gold helmet or not. I don't think they do.
Drop 2. Drop 2 inches. 2 inches.
This should be pretty good for them. This should be pretty good for them, except for the zone could pull this way. It absolutely does get inted, yeah. They have to be careful. They have to watch, most specifically, they have to watch the ball. The problem is they get held out because of the angles of the bridge, but it's a good zone. It's a really good zone for them.
Now we'll probably get into it, maybe, and then we just fucking try and clean that up. Bridge shouldn't leave, I think.
It might.
Like if we go 3rd.
They might if we 3rd.
Maybe. Maybe.
Is backside like over here? Is there people on the rest of you just sit out there though?
That team over there can see you if you play out there.
I mean, I think we just play.
I mean,
here,
you can
like,
smoke it
this
back.
way.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to use smokes right now. I'm just trying to hold them
Yeah,
both.
save your smokes.
Do you have turbos? Yes or no?
No.
There was a team, but they might be playing low profile
They're right there. Yeah, they're right
or hill, yeah. So they need to play. Let me see if I get, yeah. So right here, if you see the map, they need to play into bridge here, hold, like force teams out or kill teams out here. I don't think anyone is playing out here right now. They pinged here, so maybe there is a team. I didn't see them. They need to play into bridge here, and then they need to get close to this wall here. It's really the only way they can play. They have to go in, or like they can go around this way, play into wall, and then play here. The problem is they have to kill this team first, or at least force them to evac or something, because this team is the team that's going to grief them. These teams are all looking at them, but this team has to go somewhere. I've talked about it before, but the idea of cornered snakes, right? This team is a cornered snake. They have to go somewhere, and they don't have options. So this team is going to lunge out in whatever way they feel like is the best chance of survival, but they're going to do it very aggressively, and even if it costs them the game, they're going to feed into somebody. So their only option is if they leave, this team's just going to mirror them because they have no choice, right? They're going to mirror them, and they're going to fight them when they're in the spot they want to hold, right? When they're very vulnerable. So their only choice here is to hold this team, force their hand, but it delays their rotation, which means that their rotation is going to be, everyone's going to be looking at them because zone's closing. So we'll see how it plays out. If I'm them, though, I'm playing into tunnel or into bridge here on this side, and then I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to play for like over here on the wall, probably over here if I can, because I can walk up. I can't tell if the height at all is in zone. If it's not, then I definitely want to play into this corner and look for a climb up because there's bins I can play. And then I'm going to try to get to the other side of the wall and play into here where it's a little safer. Let's see what they do. Onmuu seems to be on one with his macro. I'm really liking their macro plays. He seems to have a really good eye for it.
He's 1 HP! He's 1 HP, deadass! I'm big, I'll take him. Now we're gonna have to go up here and get to the big building.
That's exactly right. Okay, so they know a rat. Okay, that's what they were pinging earlier.
On this rock. We're gonna have a rat.
Scanning left. Nothing on left.
I'm healing.
The other thing they need to do is they need to keep watching their back, and they need to keep putting pressure on their back.
Rat, watch for the rat. He's gonna be back here.
Climbing up.
Oh, that was almost such a throw. So they're safe here. So I don't think playing for top, like the building, was necessarily the right call. Because they don't, yeah, so this is what they need to do. I genuinely don't think you want building here. Because the problem with building is, look at it, right? It looks great on paper. If you look at this zone, oh, it's great. It's dead center, right? You look at this zone, it's not great. You're way better off fighting for back here where it's a lot less vulnerable, or even getting like under. Because then all these teams, and the 2 teams that are probably in this building, is probably 2. If not, if there isn't now, there will be. They're all going to be fighting for like this, and it's just not good. If you look at this zone, it's very similar to the zone that ZZ1 land on. And you know where they were playing when DZ1 land out of a PO end zone like this? They're playing down here. They're playing down here because no one can focus them. Their best bet right now is to get this rat right here, play for this corner, and then look to make a play to this side of zone where it's going to be a lot less teams fighting for it. They guarantee a higher placement, and they could potentially win it. So I'm going to bet Onmuu's been doing really good with his macro. I'm gonna make a bet that he's gonna try to play that and play around. I don't think they're gonna call play from the building. But surprised they're actually playing for the. I get why you want the building because like you can secure like top 5, and they probably like they're probably a little nervous that they won't because like you do have the risk of coming over here and there's a team here and you have to figure out how to like displace them because you could definitely get like top 5 playing out of the building. But I just think once you have to leave, it's gonna be a lot harder. If you were bottom floor, then yeah, absolutely you could swing out this door and you have more options out here, probably a little bit better. But I think just getting over to this side of the zone is going to be pretty low friction. We'll see.
Heights not free. Go left, go left. Come with me left then.
I was surprised that they thought that the top would be free.
We're fine though. We're fine here.
Play here.
Play their height. We can play their max height, I think.
No shot.
Can we play max height?
We
The
could.
that generator might be good for cover.
We could go for max side, but we might get fucking burnated.
Yeah, I don't think they survive max height. That team's in the window. There's just no shot.
I'm up here too. I fucking walk up.
They're peeking. Do you have a nade for that? Nade that door?
No, come up on me. You're good. Come here.
I'm batting.
I'm on height.
You gotta look for me. Watch for me. I gotta climb. I'm alone.
On the right. Do one on the right. Do one on the right. They're burnated too. Burnated. Dodging pretty safe here.
Burn both smokes. Burn. I just got fucking pissed down in the back. I'm dead.
Brother, watch him climb up.
Batting.
Oh no.
We're not in.
Yeah, you just get hard focused up here.
They climbed. We have to slide down. Slide down to me.
Look at that rock. Hold up. Look at this rock. Look at this. There's nothing. It's completely free. They took a height. Here's the thing. Even let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and say they survived this zone. They have a team on the floor below them. Then they have a team on the floor below them. And then there's that little stairway, like little column that's like down here, like that direction. There's going to be a team down there. There's going to be a team. You can't see it because it's behind my camera. Anyway, point being is there is so many teams that you're fighting with. This whole area here is free. And you have the option. And like the only team that's probably over on this side is like back here. There's 9 squads. Look at this. Look how small this zone is. There are 9 squads alive. Do you know where those squads are? I know where the squads are. They're all right here. They're here and they're here. And then there's probably like 2 teams down here. Maybe one behind this wall. All over here. But we just saw there's none of them over here. You have to play for where the teams aren't. And a lot of teams aren't fighting for this because it's not a good one to fight for, but once you get there, it's so safe. No teams could really focus them because they're all worried about their back because the zone's closing. And like the team was on ultimate height for a little bit, but if you just waited a little and you hugged that corner, you would have been able to walk up and cross like at the last minute. Yeah, the building limits your options next in, yeah, 100%. They all have to drop on each other, so it's just going to be like... See, that's the other spot I was talking about. There's a team there. That rock's still in. I mean, they're not playing cat, so they can't secure it, but they could play for cannon, too. They could take a fight to cannon, play backside of cannon. They have definitely options. Point is, they would have had a lot better placement than they do now. Anyway, that is game 4. Yeah, I think overall, their macro's looking pretty solid. That endgame play was They got kind of counter-called. He got kind of counter-called. But they were both calling to play for the building, so I don't know if it was just because if they had just, like, not let Onmuu think a little bit more, maybe he would have gotten a better call on that. I'm not really sure. He was calling what he was seeing, so like that's totally valid. Like a teammate, if they see a good spot that's like it looks playable, that's fair. But I think they kind of overruled him at the end there, which is the problem with like an established duo taking on an IGL, right? Is like the trust is a little bit split, so we'll see how that plays out. But all right, 2 games left. Let's lock it in. We're back to World's Edge again, so we're on countdown again. Typically, it's Gent that's calling 2. I think that's who countercalled. Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense then. So like it seems like that's what it was. It's just like Gent was like, this looks free, and like that's good for them to call that if they see that. Because if you don't see everything, right? An IGL makes a decision based off information. The more information you have, the better, right? I would have trusted the call too. If my teammate's saying it's free, I wouldn't have done it because I just know it's not a better spot. Even if it was free, it's not the best spot in the game right now. So I wouldn't have taken it. Trusting your teammate that it's free is good. It would have been it's on Onmuu to be like, it's not a good spot, is what he should have said. And that's just, he didn't know. So it's fair enough. GG's go next. They hit ring. Hold up. They hit ring here. Let me wait for him to open the map. Okay. So they just got ring console. They have very good prio, but here's the problem. They do have very good prio, but Fisher and Landslide also have really good prio, and their rotates are very similar. So there's a genuine risk of them being held. Trials has the ring console, but I don't think Trials is going to act on it as fast. If they do, they're going to go this way, most likely, unless they want to get this cash, which you might want to. So maybe they do go through this way. I still don't think Trials is going to necessarily rotate as fast, especially because they can just hold their zone out and play up to here. Either way, it's pulling Mirage. And Mirage is historically... So the thing about this zone specifically is Mirage zones are just bad. Like, they're not fun to play out of. Especially because, like, you can play for top. But typically, like, for one, Countdown is not getting top. Countdown does not have prio for top. The only way they get top of Mirage, Mirage Voyage itself, is if they evac in and they just basically take it from a team, or like, let's say, you know, a team is playing back Mirage, right? Like they're playing here. The only way they get it from that team is if they evac in and they like land on top and they hold the team because the team's in the inside, or they land inside and they like they're going to have to be aggressive to take that spot. And it's very high risk. It's high reward, but it's high risk. And the problem is it doesn't end on Mirage. So you could secure a decent placement, but when it inevitably pulls off, you're going to have to make some interesting calls. It's a good spot, but it's not the best spot. You can play bottom, but the problem is if you play bottom Mirage and it pulls like up here, you're screwed. If you play bottom Mirage and it pulls up here, you're screwed. If you pull bottom Mirage and it pulls staging, you're screwed. So you don't have flexibility. In terms of flexibility, one of the best spots you can play is like Grandma's house up here. Gives you a ton of options for rotates. You can play the truck up here. I don't like the trucks themselves, but this is one of the better trucks if you had to pick one. Better with a catalyst than with a caustic, but still playable nonetheless. You could play just like back here in the rocks, but the problem is you have to like, there's a lot of angles that you have to watch out for. If I'm Countdown, staging is probably taking Grandma's house, so I'm just not even going to worry about that. They are probably taking like here, so you have a couple options. You could play for Landslide is probably going to take maybe one of these buildings. It could take truck. I'd say you either slam top Mirage, you play for one of the buildings in the bottom, or what's probably better is you play for like there's this building right here that I can't really zoom in on. Maybe that's probably one of the better buildings to play. It's just going to depend on what they see when they walk in. If they're going to evac, I wouldn't evac. I'd probably play for this building and then see what there is to move from. But I wouldn't stay in this building if I can avoid it. Just because it's not where the zone's probably going to be. So it just doesn't seem like the better bet. It's going to pull Mirage, and then you inevitably have to drop off. It's not impossible to do good there, but I don't think it's the best spot. So we'll see. So they're calling for under Mirage. Okay. Like I said, I don't think it's bad to play for bottom Mirage. I don't think it's terrible. If you have an evac, kind of need a second evac though.
Go for the big balloon.
Okay, we got big balloon then.
We're gonna play for Rock. I like that.
So yeah, Thermal said fuck.
If we don't
They
get
went
big
that way.
balloon, if we don't get big balloon, try to swerve back. Look for it. Look
What?
for it.
Oh, we can
yeah.
make it.
So that's a good spot to play. Good job playing for the beacon there, the survey beacon. I think it was safer to do that than to just evac into the spots not knowing exactly what was free. This is a really good spot for them. They have decent enough loot that they should be fine. This is the most flexible spot that they could be playing. Every spot has its like negatives, right? This spot has the negative of like it's pretty vulnerable, and also like line of sight to thermal's pretty bad. Line of sight to teams walking up like a lot of different angles are pretty, like you get LOS from a lot of places. It's the most flexible spot for where the zones could pull here. You get the most options. Well, now they sit, right? Now they sit and do a whole lot of nothing, right? The only thing they really have to watch out for, the biggest concern that they have is thermal side. Yeah, they just have to play safe because they can't really concede too much heals. Because once it gets later in the game, they're not going to have a whole lot of options. So that's one of the other negative parts about this spot is they're not going to have a lot of options to get loot throughout the game. So the longer this gets, the more scuff they're going to be for loot. So they have to play safe, which is probably why he's not peeking even too much with his charge rifle. Every zone it probably pulls to, they have some sort of like way to get in pretty easily. That's one of the benefits of the spot that they're in right now. Now their big priority is just to make sure no teams go to thermal. But they do need to know if the team is there, because the team can scuff them. We've talked about cornered snakes, and this is going to be a cornered snake team. They're going to have to do something, and they could grief enough to where it opens for a third party. So they're playing up here, right? If they can hold this team out and stay up top, as long as they don't get angled out and they have cover from them, I couldn't really see if they did or not. If they have enough cover to hold off from these teams, then absolutely staying on top and making sure these teams go off is a good call. Because if like this building's free, then yeah, sure, this building's great. If this building's the one that's free, you don't want that building. It's not going to give you any flexibility in the next zone. Height gives you so much flexibility. The problem is that this has to have cover from not only these buildings, but also the boat, right? From Mirage Voyage. You don't have cover from both of those, you're going to be pretty scuffed. So, but once you do that, I'm assuming the zone's going to pull here now that I'm seeing where it is. It probably pulls out this way, which means that you have to clear this way. So once this zone closes, they're going to have to kill not only this team, but they're going to have to kill the teams over here to make sure that they can hold the height unoccupied.
They evac. Do you want to let them? Should let them.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. But good call. Good comes not to give up height, though.
I fried their bang.
I'm gonna start focusing Mirage. Mirage doesn't have that many heals either, so we should just start fucking them up.
They just slammed Mirage. Oh, my. Yeah, so now their biggest problem is all those teams. They're lucky they have some cover that they can play up here, but, man, you don't have a whole lot of options. You can try to play for top if you think you can zip across. But those teams are, yeah, those teams, the team on height is going to be ready for you. So it's going to be risky. Unless you think you can get, like, across to the height when zone closes, that could be a move. But he's right. He's right. If you get kills on the right, you get top 5, that's a good spot. It's a good play. I think they are better off playing for the kills. And then if they can take the zip at the end, that's the move. But they definitely don't want to commit to anything early. They're going to have to do whatever they do. They're going to have to walk it in.
They bang up to us. They bang up to us, by the way.
Okay.
I'm not gonna bang all yet.
Cannon 15.
They're gonna push the other team. They're pushing the other team. I'm batting. Bat.
Pop us out.
We're gonna have to slide up.
We're gonna go right then. Right below.
Oh.
Crack. Nice. Oh, you guys. No, you can't.
Okay, do we have to slide down?
They do it.
You have to slide down.
Yep.
Yeah, this is unfortunate.
Pop back. You're good. Keep calling the D's. No, done.
It's not a bad comm playing to right for kills. Like he said, they got, 4th place. I don't know how many kills. They got they got a squad wipe there. I don't think it was a full squad. I think it was 2 kills. So, I mean, for what they had available, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad call. I think it was fine. Yeah, like, so looking at this here, it looks like this zip line might still be in. They have to go into zone for a second and then take it across. They could have tried to take that zip here, smoke off the right, cross over, and then take the building. But it's cat floored. So their only option would be to take height. And I don't know if this is 2 teams or 1, which I don't know if they ever calmed it. But if this is 2 teams, then it's not doable at all. But if this is 1 team split holding all of Mirage, they might be able to smoke off and cross. They just throw a bang ult maybe, keep people off the roof, smoke off the right side, maybe smoke this door if there is a player in there, and play this off of a bang ult. Or not a bang ult, a Bloodhound ult, Bloodhound scans and stuff. I think they might be able to take top. It's where they're at now, like, of the zones that it could have pulled, it's one of the worst. So it's pretty unlucky. They had a really flexible spot. Okay, we got one last game for the boys here. Oh, they're on Storm Point again one more time. They don't have ring console, they have survey beacon. Oh, he's betting on where it pulls, and they haven't even looked at this. They haven't even got a ring yet. Hold up. So they don't have ring console. It's pulling to places they could have prio, but they have no info to act on it. So given what they have 2 options as I see it. Maybe 3, probably 2. If it pulls this, if they hit this beacon and lightning rod's already dipping, then it probably pulls like here, right? They can try to play. It looks like they really do want to try to get in the zone if they can. So command center is going to be gone because if you look at the POIs that are in prio, they got this is their immediate prio. They can force a checkpoint prio because they can go this way. If there was no other, if like Wall had ring console and Northpad does, but like if Wall had ring console, then they probably couldn't go to checkpoint just because Cascades goes this way, and they get to worry about that team. But overall, should be able to get here. Cedo, they could probably force a prio to Cedo. Barrow Zone, they can play Barrow. They can play Jurassic Zone Prio. They can play Pylon Prio. Play all of this Prio. So Command Center's gone. Command Center's probably already planning on leaving, right? They're probably zipping up right now to take an evac. Like they're gone. So Command Center is not going to be there. Lightning Rod has a ring console, so they have no reason to hit here. There's no survey beacon here. There's no survey beacon here. Lightning Rod has no reason to go here. They're going to go to either where zone is, or they're going to go hit this survey beacon. Would be a bet for me, which I didn't even know they had survey beacons spawning out here. Crazy. You can't see it, but it's like right behind where my head is, over on cliffside to the right of Stormcatcher. So here, there's a survey beacon there, so they might pull there. If I'm betting, Lightning Rod's going to go hit the Trident. Going to take it down to cliffside. They're going to hit the survey beacon here, and then they're going to play out of zone, unless they're like really, really close, which I don't think they are. If I'm betting, it's like, you know, it's probably pulling like one of the 3 central ones. I mean, it could definitely pull over here. We'll see. I'm not going to make any bets on that. If they want to play zone, their Command Center's the zone, right? Lightning Rod is going to be a little slower, but they know Command Center's going to be gone. The only people they have to worry about is Stormcatcher. Stormcatcher could absolutely play for that beacon. So Zeus could run in that. If they're not worried about it and they're like, you know what, we'll take the fight we got to take, then sure, go for it. If they want to decide to play edge, they could play for beacon here, go down, fight prowlers, play for beacon here, and then play out of it from there. Play for third beacon out of Command Center potentially, but it looks like they're going to probably play for first beacon, or second beacon, which is not a bad call. I mean, it's not bad at all because they could still get here. They can balloon in, see this, and they might still be able to take prio. The only problem is they don't have survey beacon once they get there, so we'll see. So let's see. So we got Wall is playing pretty split. Command Center is not leaving. Command Center's not gone. I don't know. Important thing is Lightning Rod's not gone either. You're kind of, based on what I'm seeing here, like you could still go command, but you're going to have to play slower. I don't know that you're going to get prio here. I don't know. It might have just been a little too early to hit the survey beacon, but they were done looting. So I mean, like you can just pressure them off in command. Like command's probably going to play zone. So like if you just are like showing up at their door, then they might just dip. They still have to watch out for Stormcatcher though. That's the only problem is like they can like try to put pressure, but they don't have like the armors to do that. So this is, I feel like this is risky, but I mean, if they want to play for zone, this is like the only way to do it. So, I mean, they have an evac. I guess I get why they're not going back up to just like play an evac up top. Maybe I think probably better bet is to hit a survey beacon, but it is another barrow zone, which is kind of wild. Probably hitting survey beacon here. I'm going to probably make a playoff survey beacon. I think they're better off walking in and hitting Eva, like farming Evos on the way in. But I mean, they could also hit the survey beacon, just evac into Jurassic, hit another survey beacon, and then play into end zone.
It could be on. No, they're too far.
Want to rat it?
Yeah, we could. And Gino died.
Like rat plays when you're like in second or first place is kind of risky, but who isn't using a bloodhound though that's going to scan it, you know? Okay, so based off this, jungle is free. Building is taken, so you're not hitting the survey beacon. Taken, you're not really getting into Jurassic. There's a team here. Your best bet is to evac over and play for like top here, like in the gates here, like the Jurassic gates. And then if you have another evac, you could evac into, I hate this building, so not this building. Like if you have an evac, you could evac into bridge, and you have a lot of options. But other than that, I wouldn't play because no one's gonna be playing bridge. I don't think teams want bridge, but as of right now, from what I see, I think you could probably beat teams to bridge if you double evac'd. But I don't know if they have double evac. Either way, I think going for it right now, I'd be evacing just over this team, land like here, walk up to bridge, or walk up to gates. That's what I would do.
Cascades.
So they're gonna go far that way. Interesting. Are they gonna wrap backside? They gotta play this super safe because they could definitely get pinched.
Balloon. Maybe catch them on their landing. They're gonna fly to us, I think. Nope, they're going the other way.
Island spot, to be honest. They have the info.
You see anyone piling yet?
No one yet.
See a watch team on the hill. They might not. They won't be able to get the
Beacon here. Wait.
Oh my god, pull further right. There were a lot of teams kind of north actually.
We can still go for this and play bridge after. We can still go for the island, then play bridge.
That team's going for. I mean, there's only one other team that's threatening their spot right now that I can think of, and it's this team. So if they mirror them, they can just take whichever spot the other team doesn't take. Bridge or island. I call it jungle, but whatever. One of them should be free. One of them should definitely be free. So I'd probably go for one of them. I'd probably evac and just mirror these guys. But now you kind of don't want jungle because zone doesn't even pull there. So
Should we double beacon coastal?
Yeah.
Or this UAV?
Yeah.
We can balloon there and then balloon
I'm not
back.
gonna.
Do it. Actually, we hit the UAV. We should do this before the zone pops.
yeah, I'm with it. Playing for this beacon is really good. So I like this type of play. This is a new adaptive way of playing that people are adopting. This is a newer way of adapting, like adapting to the changes that have been happening to this game and like the new rings that pull. Where it's a little bit less consistent, a little bit less reliable. Doing this type of like playing for ring 3 and then like doing these late evacs can, like, if done correctly, which looks like what they're about to do, really good plays. I mean, playing for, like, I didn't even see that survey beacon in coastal camp. Like, playing for that coastal camp beacon, it's ring 2. He can tank the damage. He has enough heals. Like, that's a big play because right now, like, if you slam jungle, you have to fight in to bridge, and bridge could be good, that's fine, but is it gonna be? Probably not. You know these buildings are taken, but like, is this free? Could you land here? Could you land bridge? I think this bridge is gonna be taken. Could you land building? Like, you get so much more of a lay of the land and you get so many more options, especially knowing that now, because of the way the zone is pooled, this is probably gonna be the harder part of the zone. Can I bypass that? Can I get over here where it's a little bit easier? Maybe I have to take one fight to win the game, whereas over here, might have to take like 3. So this could be big, because even if there's a team here, they might be able to land like back here, fight in for it, or even just land here and hold them out. They're going to have options. You see this team. This team has to walk in. If you land here and you kill this rat, you could hold this team out, and you probably don't get punished for that. This is probably free, and you should beat them to it. So, I mean, yeah, I think that's probably what I would do, is I would probably evac to here. Can you make it, though? I don't know if you can make it. You have to, I think, get closer to evac, right? I haven't tested stuff like this, so I'm not sure if I think you have to get closer to hit that evac. Having him run back is also a really good comms, because if he has to use his other evac to get there, then they can't get to it. And I'm looking here, and I'm not seeing anything yet. So you might have time. The thing, okay, so real quick before they send this, the thing about the 3-man that they're talking about is the 3-man's not going to be playing bridge. So the solo might be ratting under bridge. The team might clear bridge, but they're not playing bridge. They're going to play the gravity cannon. So if a team lands in the bridge, you should be able to play enough cover to take the fight, at least as a somewhat even 3v3. We'll see.
What about this? What about this?
They are playing rock.
I mean, that's...
Yeah, we do it.
Yeah, that's a good swerve. It's going to be tough. You have to really know your angles here. If this is the game they win, this is a pretty crazy spot to win out of. I think of their options, this was good. They could have tried to fight for it. It would have been landing with no info. Yeah, bridge team has to fight house team, of course. Bridge team could also fight these guys, and it'd be relatively isolated. Like, a team could try to fight them for this position right now.
Wait, they should cannon.
They took cannon? That's so troll.
Low key on me is pretty safe. Not even trolling. Low key.
I got it back.
Right here.
Yeah, actually, it's way better. Yeah, it's way better.
I'm back to there, right?
Is that a knock on the left?
Yeah, they wall. Can we mirror wall?
Careful screen out. They're still careful. They're on top.
They're not fighting. Be careful.
Oh, troll?
Yeah, we have no smoke now.
There we do.
Well, you
I
think
have
it's
one. Have us.
I can maybe kill that team with one obstacle.
I hit him 70 perp on height here. On the roof. I think we need to go under.
Yeah.
There's a team
Might
under.
go early though.
Is there a team under? Okay, no. We just got wiped. We just got wind, and we got to play down here
Yeah,
then.
walk. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't bad. Yeah, this is good for them to stay. I mean, I think they definitely could have mirrored that, but it was a risk. It was a big risk. It depends on how they want to play it. This is a safer spot. I like the way that they're communicating, though. I think they're doing a really good job bouncing ideas off each other. The only thing I don't like is that they do sometimes commit to something before they have made a decision, which can be risky. So it's like interesting, like they do a lot of calming what they're doing and not necessarily like what to do, if that makes sense.
Not a trade.
They just team wiped them.
They wiped.
Onmuu, dude, he's sending some stuff without saying anything.
We should maybe look. I'm gonna bang out them. I'm gonna bang out them and close them. Yes, I gave us smoke up here. We're gonna have to cross.
They're crossing left. They're crossing.
I knocked him on the right.
Yeah. You play this corner. Yeah, you play this wall. You're fine. Playing under's good.
They Stands over here.
He's in the crate. He's in the.
Scan 50.
You could have probably also gotten away with the wall, but the problem is somebody could swing the corner and fight you. And there's angles on the right here, so yeah, playing under here is way safer. And you have the stairs to the left you can play out to.
As many barrels as you can.
They're above. They're above.
You should have to watch the walk around on the wall to your right. Like a team can come from like over here.
Should be on our
French,
stairs.
yes.
It pulls in our stairs. Yes.
Oh, it literally pulls in the stairs. That's amazing. It's so good for them.
Here.
I'm seeing one. Scan?
What is above us? Where?
Nah, scanning
I
8.
never got my kill above. They read them, I'm pretty sure. Scan above.
4.
Okay.
I think if you scan, you go to the other back wall and then scan forward. No.
6 wads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we scanned
No,
all
I
16.
meant this way. No, I meant this way. There's
No,
gotta be
there's no one
someone
there. There's no one there. They can't play there.
I'm
scanning.
telling you, I'm
telling you, there's no one there. Bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean you have to know, right? Because if there is one and you didn't expect it, that could be someone knocking your team, cracking a player on your team. Like
You can pre-console that.
It's not a bad idea.
you don't have to. It looks like they're pushing the other way. Yeah, that's smart from that team. That team can't really play for the inside, unless they like swung it mad early. But
Crack,
60 on him.
down.
Flash.
Get it all down, Costa go,
Yeah, dude. Console go.
I don't think you needed to.
You're good. Yep,
Okay,
you're
good.
good.
I don't know that they needed caustic gas.
No barrels left.
I think the thermite was enough.
You play under.
Scanning.
Find me.
Safe here.
Safe here too.
Safe on me.
Watch our drops.
This is nuts.
Behind us.
Yep.
Watch our drop behind us.
We'll just fucking bang.
Oh wait, that hit me.
Scan in 10.
Get ready.
Get traps down here on
Wait,
stairs.
He needs to get traps down.
I'm about to have my bang all too.
Put it on close left too. Close left. So
Yes, traps. Get traps. Watch drop.
Use that wall. Use this wall.
Yeah, they just kind of got a free wall. That's kind of nuts.
Fucking mango, baby.
Did.
Scanning up. Is that up? Top left.
Enemy.
Down.
Huge
I'm dead.
knocks.
Play the corner.
What are my eyes? Yeah, this is the way to play. Like, just go like low contact. Just play low. One good nade just kills them all. But yeah, I mean, that's what can you do, right? You just gotta climb up and finish it.
Last one. Where is he? Down low.
Let's
Let's fucking go!
One good frag could have probably killed them all. But yeah, I mean, that was the way to play. That was what else could you do? I mean, that was the way to play there. That was awesome. Good play. That's game. That's the end of it there. And so obviously, as we see, they took second place with 59 points. They got a 20-point game at the end there. Hey, that's a pretty good set. That's a good end game for them. So overall, what I'm seeing, just the gist of it, is this is a team that has a lot of good synergy. They seem to be, in terms of like a vibes and like a mesh, they seem to be a very good meshing team that it seems like they can adapt really well together. Some of their weaknesses, it seems like they calm a lot of what they're doing, but not necessarily communicating what the plans are. I saw a lot of different times where they were just kind of doing stuff, and I'm like, how did they decide to do that? And I'm not sure if they're just following whoever's in the front. Sometimes it does feel that way. Maybe it is because they just have this macro that's already very well established, so they're just doing what the plan was. Totally possible. But there was a lot of times where it doesn't seem like that could have been the case. There's also a few issues I've seen where like they can be split, especially in like fights when they're not communicating. And this just comes down from like not communicating what the plan is. It seems like Onmoo's doing a fantastic job with his macro. It seems like Gent is also I believe it was Gent is chiming in a good amount with some other ideas as well to bounce off of. So in terms of their communication is like simultaneously really good in some places and not great in some other places. But I think the biggest place that their communication struggles is with like one of them will be committing to a plan before they've decided if that is the plan. And sometimes it's Onmuu doing something without fully communicating the plan is what he's doing. Like when they were on the little island and he kind of like started to already send it before kind of communicating that that's what the plan was. That's an IGL thing that sometimes just happens to people. And then there was also some issues with like Gent really saying that roof is free and kind of hard committing to that, counter calling, but also like kind of overtaking the comms to like call that. Again, when you have that info, sometimes that is the thing you have to do. But sometimes you do need to just give your IGL time to process the information. They had the time specifically in that situation, but yeah, so I would say like in terms of a general like vibes in comms, they're pretty good. In terms of like calming what's going on, they're pretty good about it. In terms of conceding comms to each other, they're pretty good about it. The only things that like even counter calling, it wasn't like bad counter calling. It seemed like it was pretty healthy mesh. I think just the one thing that they do need to work on better is like communicating a plan a little bit more definitively, as well as maybe just calming a little bit more of intention over what their current actions are. So instead of saying like, you know, I'm shooting here, maybe be like, we need to focus this kind of thing. They were doing some of that, but maybe a little bit more was good. Overall, their macro is looking really, really good. I think that they have a good understanding of playing for Ring 3. It seems their primary focus is playing for Ring 3. It seems like that is, even when like, it seems like they really don't want to play Edge if they can at all avoid it. It definitely seems like Edge is their weak point, and their strength is absolutely zone. It seems like Onmuu's got a really good eye for where the ring is pulling, a really good eye for where to play, and not just, and it seems like actually they play way better off of Ring 3 beacon than they do playing hard zone or hard edge. So if I were them, I'd be picking POIs that really cater to those playstyles more. Zeus is a good POI to play off of Ring 3, so I think that's a really good props to them. I think that, you know, there's a lot of other good POIs like that. Echo's a really good POI for something like that. Going into the split, that's something that they're wanting to consider, is playing to POIs that allow for them to play off of Ring 3 really well. Countdown was a good selection for that as well. Yeah, so I think that generally speaking, when it comes to their macro, that's definitely their biggest strength. Their fighting looks pretty solid when they stay together. It's really in these like asynchronous fights where they get a little bit, they have some struggles. Like it seems like in a 3v3, they're really good. But when they are in like asynchronous fights where they have an advantage, they control a little bit. Actually, both fights were, ironically enough, against Tech in them. In both of those fights, both at Pylon and at Monument, they played really split because they had an advantage, and they were almost selling. Like, and the one time they lost the 2v3 because they weren't playing together off the advantage. They were playing a little too confident, as if they already had it. And on Monument specifically, they, Onmuu took height first when he should have just full sent with the team. And as for the Pylon one, they were chasing a solo, and they let Gent chase down the solo while Jeeds was alone. They didn't calm that. And so that easily could have been turned into a situation where someone got knocked, had to get rezzed, threw off their entire rotate. When their fights are even, and when they have what they need and they know what their advantages are, they're playing really good. Overall, I think they're doing a really good job. This is a team that's looking in good form. I think that it is still a risky play style, playing Ring 3, but it is clearly working for them in some cases. You're going to have some Ring 3s where you just can't get into zone. But they do seem like they're able to recognize that and play edge when they have to. So Split 2, I think in Pro League, they are going to do pretty decent. I think this is going to be a team that's going to shock some people. Don't know that I'm going to say they will make LAN. I think they're going to be in the 10 to 20 range. And so they could fall in the bottom half of that and make it into Split 2 playoffs. I could also see them being like in the higher level of that and staying in Pro League, not getting relegated, but not making it to playoffs. That's kind of where I would put them right now. I didn't see them really look bad. The only things that the mistakes they did have were like end zone calls, but even in their bad end zone calls, there weren't a lot of them. So I think in terms of the end zones that they made it into, they were in 4 end zones. They got first out of 2 of those, and the other ones they got 4th and 9th. And I guess if you want to count the one in checkpoint, they got 10th out of that one. Overall, I think it's that like right at the end there, sometimes they can make some bad calls, but for the most part, I think their zone reading, even in the end zones, is pretty solid. So yeah, overall, I'd give it to them. I think that in terms of going into EWC, I think that this is a team that I think may surprise us, but I don't see it as quite a winning team yet. That's going to come down to like when they narrow down some of those smaller things. But I do think this is a team that's going to do decent at EWC. I think this is a team we could see in finals lobby. Overall, though, Only time will tell. So that's it for today's Tripods VOD review. If you want to see a specific VOD review in the future, let me know. I'm trying to do one weekly over on Twitch. And if you don't want to miss the Twitch live streams, which are longer versions of these VOD reviews with a little bit more information that you might miss out and opportunities to ask questions about stuff you want to know about, then make sure you go follow me on Twitter at BurkeTheNerd as well, so you don't miss updates on that as well as other videos in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.